My South African friends, stop chasing immigrants in South Africa because they are not in South Africa by their own choice. They are in South Africa because of something bigger than a single man, a political and economical system. This is not told. The news doesn't tell you about this thing. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you the full story and you will understand from where it began and how it began. Who get benefit from this all? So before you comment, please give me at least 5 minutes to understand what I'm bringing to you in this video, because I do see many people when I do say someone from somewhere is going to South Africa. Some of the South African, they act like, oh, do not come here, stay in your country, something like this one. And I'm here to tell you the whole story, and in the end of the video, you will judge me according to what you will hear from me. Do not judge now, just be patient and you will understand the complete story. Do you know who was the first immigrant in South Africa? I think that you don't know. Let us go back in 19th century, where South Africa was just a country, a rich country with natural resources that needed to be digged and to be sold in the end of the game. You already know that I'm not that much fluent in English, but I do feel like my English is getting better and better. And if I make some mistakes here, you better consider that I'm not that much fluent in English, and I'm here to tell you the story. The first people who went to South Africa went legally, not illegally, was people from Mozambique. Why? You know, when rich veins were discovered in Witwatersrand by the white government, they needed a lot of labor, and not just a simple labor, a labor that would be controlled by them, and they would only be used only to dig the gold, diamonds and so on, and not get profit from that. And they did not want to hire South African people because of what? Because at that moment, South African black people, they were organizing themselves politically, and in the future, they would demand something like better life conditions, better wages, and so on. They would demand something that white people would not be able to give. And as South Africans were living in their own country, they would fight, they would have ways to fight. So what they decided? They decided to go somewhere where they could get labor, a cheaper labor, and treat them like slaves. And the solution came immediately. They saw Mozambicans as the tools, the human tools that they would use. So what they did, they came to Mozambique because at that time we were under the control of the Portugal Empire. Like we was managed by Portugal because we are Portuguese colony. And after that, what they did, they came to Mozambique. They made an agreement with the government of that time, and the government decided to send the human. The government decided to send laborers to South Africa, and they were not going to South Africa just to enjoy in South Africa. They were starting from Mozambique, going to a certain part of South Africa, just to work only in a place in mines, and the place where they lived is called hostels. If you go to the Google and search hostels, you will see what hostels were at that moment. At that moment, they was not allowed to have a family. They was not allowed to know about the world around them. They was not allowed to have anything. They was only allowed to live there in the hostels and go to the mine, dig there with no protection, with nothing, completely nothing. And after years, and after that, the contract was not that much bigger. The contract was a simple contract of 6 to 18 months. After that, the miner was going home, was deported, like, hey, go away home, and they was coming here again in Mozambique looking for someone else who would replace, and the salary at that time was between 80 rands to 120 rands per month. This one day was automatically cut money, like six 60 rands per month to send this money to Mozambique each 3 months. So like this they was not allowed to have family, they was not allowed to have a female visitors and so on. They was living in a prison, but that kind of prison where you get paid to be in that prison. They was working 6 days a week for 12 hours. But even though they was living like that, they were not illegal. They were legal because they had all the documentations and you know. So after after the ending of the contract, they heard like in South Africa, there are many places where you can work. You see, someone came to Mozambique, went to South Africa. He worked, and he did not get benefit. And he hears that there are livestock, their agriculture, their construction in which you can work, you can do something. And they said, okay, these guys exploited me for too long. They did not allow me to see the environment around the mines and so on. What if I go illegal to South Africa? Because at that time, black people were not allowed to go to South Africa. White people, they would go because they were not seen as a danger. But black people were seen as a danger. You know what white government did to South African during that apartheid. So after that, the movement started. Why? Because they had some memories, some ideas of what South Africa would be. And they paid those guys by the name of Amatongas. I don't know if it is Amatongas or what. They paid Amatonga something like 10,000 rands just for that trip in order to go what they wanted to go. They reached in South Africa. They arrived in South Africa with no protection, tired, hungry, with no place to live. And they accepted to work for less. And who gave them the job? The white guy. The white guy. And those white guys, they realized that paying South African, they would pay a lot of money, and they were not willing to pay that amount of money to South Africans. So why not they exploit those illegal? The ones who were fighting against illegal immigration were the ones who were supporting those illegal immigration. So after years and so on going, South African girls, ladies, they had a relationship with immigrants. So in this relationship, they made kids. From these kids, you see, South African with Mozambican. These two, they made a South African kid. This South African kid met another South African kid, and they made another children, and they made another children or something else. You see how much this thing is valuable. So after all of these things here, South African citizens realized that these guys who got companies, who got money, they doesn't accept us. They doesn't want to hire us. Why? They doesn't want to hire us. What we have to do now? Let us send these immigrants here away. Legal or illegal, they was being sent away like, hey, go back home. That is the reason why you saw that thing by the name xenophobia. So between this legal and illegal, some they are not doing a good thing. You know, Nigerian are known, even here in Mozambique, are known as drug dealers. They are not doing good things. Mozambican, some they are known as people who steal things. They are known as thieves. And between this thing here, there are South Africans as well doing the same kind of job. But when the bomb explodes, it explodes only for the foreigners. And when it's the time to send the foreigners away, something is not being considered. Listen to me. In constructions, they are foreigners. Mining, they are foreigners. Livestock, they are foreigners. Merchants, they are foreigners. And so on. Many places. The economy of South Africa, I've been reading, and I realized that in 2023, the illegal labor made something like $50 billion to the government GDP for the South African state. You see how much money this is doing. So imagine if the foreigners decide like, okay, these guys are sending us away, and they decide to leave at once, like, okay, let us go back home right now. And they go. They take their kids, their wives, and so on. who will be working in South Africa, and what is going to be in terms of economy South Africa? Who will be willing to work for whom in South Africa? So I'm asking this like this because you have to understand. I saw a video of a couple with the kid. They tried to go to the hospital and they were sent away with the kid sick, just looking for treatment. And they closed the gate of the hospital like, hey, you have to go back to Somalia. So after seeing this one, I started thinking like, okay, something here must be done, because the problem is not the immigrant, legal or illegal immigrant is not the problem. The problem is the system that exists between, because in the beginning, this system exploited foreigners for nothing, and foreigners went back to South Africa to get what they thought was for them. And in there, they ended up being exploited once again. But at this time, they were gaining something bigger than what they used it to in the past after the apartheid. So after this one, I realized that the problem is not the immigrants. No, the problem is the system. The problem is those guys who are not hiring South African people. The war should be not against other African, because when it is the time, you are sending away only black people. Those white guys, Chinese and so on, Chinese, Indians and so on, you don't send them away. But they are foreigners as well. But you are only sending away the black ones. So the problem is not the people. The problem is the system built into this one. The system that feeds people here. Because of what? Listen to me. Imagine that I'm an entrepreneur and I'm working I have a construction company. I don't want to hire South African, because if I hire South African, I will have to pay a lot of things. And I do pay Zimbabweans, Mozambicans, and so on. The problem is not that people. The problem is me. If you want to change something, just focus on me, because I'm the one who get the payments, who process the payment, and who pays people. So this is the problem. And and here in between, there is a system that we build it here just to protect ourselves and our businesses. And instead of attacking me, why don't you attack this system? Because if you attack me, nothing is going to stop. This is a huge problem. Let us focus in human rights. Let us focus in human lives, because my life doesn't worth more than yours. Your life doesn't worth more than mine. Here in Mozambique, for example, we have many South African investments. You had never heard people from South Africa complaining about Mozambique, like, hey, Mozambican are sending South Africans away. If you go to the beaches around the country, along the beach, along the sea here in Mozambique, many investors are South African. And we are not sending them there. We are not sending them away. Why? Because we understand that they are here only to make money, live their lives, and die. We should not go against them. We should not chase them. Because of what? They deserve to work. They deserve to get what they want. Their families need to be fed, and they are the ones who can feed that one. So other question, because I do have some South African friends. I asked, hey man, do you know this story? He said, no, we don't know that one. We don't know. We are only seeing foreigners coming here. We don't understand why are they coming here. And when I started explaining them, they realized that no. Something has to be introduced. You have to fight against. This is definitely. You have to fight against the illegal immigrants, because there are many people who illegal in South Africa, many people. And I do ask them, how could you live in a country without a proper documentation? How would you imagine that you get injured? How will you fight for your rights? Imagine that you have an accident. How do you think that they will treat you? Imagine you get sick. How will they regularize your thing? How could you continue living like this one? They say no, because it is expensive and I'm still working, I'm still this and that. And they're working just like that one. And even the owners, the business owners, they know that they are illegal. That is the reason why they are hiring them. They are giving less payment because they know that they won't complain anywhere. You see? And thanks to that cheap and illegal labor, they get a lot of money in the end of the game. So as they're getting the food, the money, they say, okay, just keep on getting here. We will say that we don't want it to happen, but we will support you. So the thing is, if you are illegal, do not work. Come here legally, okay? Regularize all of the things, because having illegal people, if they rob, they kill, they do this and that, you won't control, you won't be able to control the thing. So if someone entered in a country legally, if he does something, you will know that guy did this one. So this is the thing. But this is the story. I made a full documentary where I showed the real benefits of this one, of the illegal or legal and so on. I did it because what I want you to understand is stop chasing other black people. Like, hey, if you see a black people from Mozambique, you're going against him. Not you at all. But look at my videos in which I do talk about immigration. You will see that there are people who I don't blame them. They doesn't know the story. They doesn't. So without knowing the story, they will commit the same mistakes. Make the same mistakes always because they don't know the story. So this have to be shown, have to be told in order to make people understand. Because the problem, you know why this is not ending? Because the problem is not the people. The problem is the system. People in their countries, they are running away from poverty, political issues, economical insurance, and so on. Economical insecurity, insegurança. When you are not secure. You understand. So these problems here that makes people look at me. For example, if I go to South Africa, I won't be going to South Africa to live forever. I will go to get education that we don't have here in Mozambique. This is the same. Some South African guys realize that in some provinces they wouldn't run their touristic business in South Africa. They decide to shift from South Africa to Mozambique, and they made their empire here, and they are making their thing. They are here just for businesses. And that is the same. I will go only to get educated and come back to Mozambique and do my businesses here in Mozambique. I won't stay in South Africa because I believe that something has to be done here. And I'm the one who gotta do that, and not just to come in something and no. I want to build something. I don't want to be in a place where everything is done, everything is built, and just only just to get a lift. No, I don't want to do that. So you have to start reading. But this is my suggestion. You have to start reading and understand, why is this happening? Why is this happening? What is this meaning? From where it is coming? And you will end up realizing that many things must be changed. So this is the thing. Imagine, for example, if we have a political issue here, I have a short time of life. Do you think that I've got to stay here in Mozambique fighting against the bigger system, a system with a powerful guys? No, I got to look for somewhere else where I can hide my head, build a home, and do something for my family until I die. So this is the thing that I wanted you to understand. This is the thing. So my plan now is to not sit here, is to go to South Africa and have a conversation with the locals and ask if they know this that I've told you. Ask the immigrants in South Africa, Mozambican, Angolan, Zimbabweans, and so on. How do they live? To make sure that you understand and what they are building in South Africa. So this is the thing. And if this video go to something like 20K, I will be doing that. Because what I want is to make sure that you come to Mozambique and feel free, and I go to South Africa and I feel free. No one is gonna chase you here in Mozambique, unless police. Yeah, police, they are going to do something. If you are coming, when they see GDP, they stop. So you're like, hey, stop there, give me money. Is what they do here. So this is the only thing that is gonna happen to you. If you enter in a country, you will be living just, you will feel free. You will feel free. So this is the thing that I wanted to tell you. I hope you understood. I am not, you know, when we talk about sensitive things like these ones, people sometimes doesn't act well. And I know. So this is the thing that I wanted to tell you. See you in the next video. Bye-bye. I'm gone. But before, you better tell me, what do you think? Did you know this story that I told you? See you.